this case, but rather trying to find out whether the brother's testimony was an act of family betrayal. Please welcome Navi. Navi, welcome. We can't go back to court and find out guilt or innocence. That's not the purpose of this. What I want to hear from you is, tell me why you're here today.
Well, I'm here to confront my wicked brother-in-law. On, I guess it's a couple of years ago, my husband was convicted. He was stopped and convicted of a crime, conspiracy to do a crime, first of all.
Bank robbery, right?
It wasn't bank robbery at first. I don't know if my brother-in-law came up with this or they came up with it. I don't know what's going on. I know when they got arrested, they was arrested for conspiracy to do a crime. I'm like, what crime? He left to go buy clothes for a clothing store. Anyways, immediately after, I guess a couple of weeks, they start saying it was a bank robbery. I'm like, where did you guys get bank robbery from? It all came from my wicked brother-in-law. And I'm here to confront him to ask, why would he do this? My husband's in jail now for life, for a crime that he did not commit, for a crime that my brother-in-law know didn't happen. And I don't know if he did it out of jealousy, if he did it because he was afraid, if he did it because he's just a wicked person. But right now, our family's torn apart. I don't have my husband, a man that was in our life, a man that was working. We go to church together. We pray together. We eat together. We own business. I have nothing now because of what my brother-in-law did. And I have to accept it because I'm a woman of God and you're supposed to forgive. How can I forgive him? And that's why I'm here. I want some closure. I know in the end, God will work it out and my husband will get out. I know that. But I just need to know, like, why did he destroy my family? Why?
Let's back up a little bit. Describe the relationship you had with your husband before your brother-in-law's betrayal. What was your relationship like with your man before that?
Oh, my God. I met my husband when we was younger at Magic Mountain. I used to work at an amusement park where we live. And we ended up getting married, I guess,
16
like 10 years
old.
after.
He was your high school sweetheart.
Yeah, yeah. That was my high school sweetheart. I love him. He was a good man. I had a previous relationship before and I had 2 other kids. God blessed me. And my husband ended up finding me after 10 years and told me, you know, God told me that I'm going to be with you. We're going to have kids and we're going to be married. We end up really having kids, end up being married, and we had a good relationship. We owned business. We owned a couple of hair salons, clothing stores.
Good life.
We had homes. We had a good life.
Kids, money, businesses.
Everything. I have 2 other kids from a previous relationship, and he took care of them. One was 6 and one was 3. And now they're 18 and 21. You know, and this man, I mean, he helps us with everything. I mean, anytime we need something, we get together and we pray. And that's why I don't understand, like, how can this happen to us? I didn't even know the system could fail us like this. But what I'm upset more about is my brother-in-law failing us, because we took care of him. Anytime he needed something, we were there for him.
Tell us the story. Tell us the story that one day when your life changed so fundamentally.
Oh, my God. The day when I received the phone call when my husband said, I'm in jail. I said, in what? He said, baby, I've been arrested. And I'm like, for what? You went to get clothes. Why are you arrested? He said, I don't know yet. But it was like over 75 police pulled us out, snatched us out of the car, and they had guns on us. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, okay, baby, don't worry about it. We're going to call and find out what's going on. They were like, he's in jail for conspiracy to do a crime. I'm like, what crime? So anyways, Paul had called also, and he was saying, okay, I'm in jail. What are we going to do? Now they're talking about some other things that I have done, some insurance things. So he got scared. And I'm like, I already know my brother-in-law. I love him, but he has a lying problem, and he always have. So once he was in jail with him, I'm like, you're with Paul? Oh, my God, no.
Did you have a sense that Paul was going to do in your husband?
You know what? At that time, no, because I didn't know how detailed and how bad this case, they made it, so I didn't know that at first. I never knew that. But after they start saying they had, someone was turned in and they had statements, I was like, oh my God, that's Paul. Only person who will do that to try to clear themselves is Paul. So right then I was so afraid. You know, and then they had him in the cell together. But immediately when they moved him, I'm like, because he was in the cell together for like, I guess 3 weeks or more. And once they moved him, it was over with.
So Navi, the authorities needed Paul's testimony to put the hat on your husband's head.
Yes.
They needed him. He was the critical element.
Yes.
And your brother-in-law, Paul, wrongfully testified against your husband, causing him to be locked up 35 years to life.
Yes.
Are you prepared for the fact that you and your man may never be together again?
Well, I praise a good God, and that's where my faith lies. It don't lie in man, and it don't lie in Paul. It don't, not at all. So that's not my concern at all, because I know that justice will be served.
At the end of the day, Paul testified against your husband, causing him to be locked up in prison.
Yeah, and he came out more than once. And the preliminary hearing, he came out, and he's like, okay, I can't lie. I'm not gonna lie. And then they take him back to the back, and he comes back out and go, yeah, we did come here to conspire to do a crime. I'm like, what? Paul, are you really serious? And then he looks at everybody while we're like, you're not doing this, Paul. And he really comes out and he says the things, then they take him back and he changes statement, and then he comes back again. I'm like, why are you playing these yo-yo games? Because of Paul's testimony, because of his lies, because of his wicked ways, my husband might spend the rest of his life in jail.
And that was brother against brother.
Yes. And that's what made the case look, they needed Paul, because it made it look real. If your brother's gonna say that you came out here to rob a bank, they didn't need anybody else. I mean, it was headline news everywhere.
And you're here today to confront Paul.
Yes, yes.
Please welcome Navi's brother-in-law, Paul. You want to have a seat? Paul, we have a circumstance here where Navi contends that you testified against your brother wrongfully about crimes that your brother did not commit.
Why did you do it, Paul? Seriously, why did you do it?
What do you
You're
have to
not even that kind of person. Why did you do it? I know that you lie, and that's okay, but to know that
Can you tell the truth at the trial? What did I say at the trial? I remember saying none of that stuff. I was on that medication. I still don't remember saying none of that stuff. And the DA said a harsh witness, so the case should have been thrown out. So I said, when you sit up there and say, I don't love my brother, I'm wicked, I've been there for my brother all my damn life. I've been there for my brother.
Paul, here's the question I have for you. Did you lie in court to take a deal for yourself, to get a light sentence so that your brother would be convicted?
Why I want to lie and say get a license for myself for it?
Did you? Did you?
Huh?
Did you tell the truth in court?
Would you have to do life? What'd they tell you? Didn't they tell you that if your testimony, they said if you didn't get them convicted, tell the truth, Paul, because we're here to tell the truth. If they said, wait a minute, they said if you did not get them convicted, your deal don't stick. Remember how wicked they were being? They said you have to make.
Wicked.
Yeah, but remember they said that you have to make. They got to get convicted.
That's why the trial said no.
Yeah.
That's why I said I don't know.
No, but I'm saying they said unless they get convicted, you'll be doing life. Remember, they were like, exactly, that's what I'm saying, let's just tell the truth.
And I told them that the trial said no, remember saying none of that stuff they talking about.
We know what you said at the trial, but you kept changing it, and I know you're right. You was on medication. Okay, all right, they had you on medication.
No, but here's the question. Paul, did you testify truthfully in court that your brother had planned to commit this crime, yes or no?
At the preliminary, they came back there, showed me some kind of papers, was saying all kind of stuff on the papers that I didn't understand.
Paul, that's a yes or no answer. Did you testify in court truthfully about your brother?
No, at the trial I did not, no.
And because of your testimony, he went to prison up to the rest of his life?
At the trial, they still sentenced all of them.
Now, how can a brother do that to a brother?
No, that's what the trial said. I don't remember saying none of that stuff, so I didn't. I was on that medication. I was taking all kind of meds. She know that I was taking all kind of meds. At the trial, I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Every question they asked me, she can tell you. I said, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and you did say no.
I said no.
Then we got proud like Paul is starting to tell the truth.
I said the trial, I said no.
But this is what I want to know,
Didn't
Paul.
they take you in the back room when you came back out in order to save your own skin? You saved your skin at the expense of your brother.
I wasn't trying to save my skin.
This is what I want to know.
Didn't you get a deal?
Who?
You. Didn't they give you a deal?
They tried to give me a deal, yeah.
They gave you a deal.
Yeah.
And because they gave you the
took the deal off the table.
You testified against her husband and your brother.
And 6 other guys is in jail.
And you're a free man, and he's in prison for 35 years to life. How does that make your heart feel? You're the brother.
How you make me feel? That's my brother, man. See, you don't know the story. You ain't been there.
Why'd you do it?
What you mean?
Why'd you do it?
What you mean why I do it?
Did you do it to save your own skin?
Why would I do that? It's my brother.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. That's what I'm asking you. Why'd you do it?
If I don't understand the trial and say I don't know what they're talking about the trial.
Do you see why we can't get anywhere? Because I'm so confused. Like,
me too.
It happened. You did it.
Yeah, it
Whatever
happened.
the reason why you did it, you did it.
But at the trial,
they went back in my husband's past from when he hadn't been to jail since he was a kid.
Exactly.
They went back in his past and gave him life. They didn't go back and say because of this. They went back in his past when he already did time and gave him life.
None of that stuff.
They called my husband a gang member, and they said it came from you. You remember those? We know that, but remember that.
Yeah, remember that. You was in there. You know what I said. He don't do none of that stuff.
Paul, what happened in the police? Paul, what happened in the police interrogation?
They was asking all kind of questions about y'all can marry Robert Banner. I said no, we cannot get up clothes, pick up clothes. Cause my brother had a clothing shop. We came in and pick up clothes because he had a clothing shop, and it was a couple of weeks hanging out, you know, talking amongst ourselves with guys. We was at somebody's house. I don't know his name. Whoever his name
Paul,
is.
can you look Navi in the eye at this moment and say to your sister-in-law, I am profoundly sorry for what I've done to you?
I told Navi that before. I told Navi that.
The only way, and I'm telling you, you know I love you.
I love you too,
Navi. But the only way I can forgive you is for you to tell the truth. You can't keep blaming stuff on other people.
No, I don't blame nobody. I ain't blaming nobody.
You can't get past it.
I'm not blaming nobody.
I want you to say, Navi, what I did was wrong. What I did to my brother is wrong. I lied, whether I was on medication, whatever they did to me, but I lied to save my own. And what I did was wrong. And you're home. You're home. I'm sitting next to you.
I know you are.
I'm not with my husband. You see how close we was, Paul?
I know you
know how close we was. How I gotta survive without this man. You know how close we was. Just think about it. Come on. And that's all I want you to say. I want you to say, I did wrong. I shouldn't have did it. That was wicked. And there's no way for us to sugarcoat it.
All right, hold that thought. When we continue, we're going to see what Paul's mom thinks about his role in sending her other son away for life. We'll continue.
You heard what I said. You was there. Like she keeps saying, it's Paul fault, Paul fault. You was there.
Mom was at the trial. Mom was at court, probably like I can count on my hands.
But
I was there from the first beginning. I was there at the prelim when you walked out.
Okay, I understand you was there. I understand you was there.
I'm keeping it real.
Really ruined my life. Like, you see, you over here making excuses, yelling at my mom like that. Like, you should just really not even have nothing to say. I'm so sorry. Like, I would honestly, if it's really been how I would never forgive you. Like, I can never get those 4 years back. Like,
tonight, betrayal and accusations from a loved one. That's what my guests are talking about today. Please meet the mother of Paul and mother-in-law of Navi, Janice. Janice, welcome. Janice, what are your feelings now? You have one son in prison, 35 years to life. Another son is sitting to your left, whose testimony put him there. How does that make you feel?
I don't feel good. I don't feel good. But like Paul ain't never been in jail in his life before. I'm not trying to make no amends and say stuff to try to say what he did was right, because it was wrong. But Paul was scared. Paul ain't never been in jail in his life. When they did the interrogation, they had him in there for I don't know how many hours. And Paul kept telling them, like they said, that they went to go get clothes. But they said, no, you guys didn't go to get clothes. They tried to bring their bank robbery in, and that's when Paul just said, okay, yeah, that's what we went to go do.
Tell us about the interrogation. You felt during the interrogation almost like a victim, that your family doesn't understand what you've gone through. Explain that to us.
Like everybody, like everybody said, it was Paul's fault. Okay, I understand that. If you want to blame me, blame me. It's Paul's fault. But like I said, I got told them I can't get clothes. I kept telling them that. Like at the court, the judge didn't let me talk.
So during the hours long of interrogation, you originally told the police the truth, which was that Paul and you had nothing to do with the crime.
Right, I know, I told them that. And
then after a while, what happened to you, and why did you tell a lie on your brother? What happened?
I just told him, man, look, I'm tired of you asking me all these questions. Whatever you say it is, it is. Take me back to my cell. I don't care what y'all talking about.
Did you know, but then the deal was offered to you that if you testify, you were told during the interrogation that if you do the deal, Paul, and put the hat on the head of your brother, that you would get a much lighter sentence. But you didn't know he was facing 35 years.
I didn't know that.
You thought he'd be getting out too?
I thought that. I mean, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what he was facing.
Navi, do you think he cared at that point about your husband?
I think what Paul cared at that time about was himself. I think all he cared about at that time was himself. It was self. I think what hurt you, Paul, is that you love your brother, and you never thought it was going to be so extent. But if you never lied in the first place, forget telling them what they want to hear. Tell them the truth. But the sad thing about it, Paul is a man of God, and what you need to understand is that when you're a man of God, you got to stand up. And don't throw your brother under the bus. Don't throw other people under the bus.
I mean, that's your opinion. You throw my brother under the bus.
What do you feel? He's in jail for life.
Okay.
Okay, what are you doing right now?
What you feel? I want him there?
Okay, what are you doing right now to help him out?
Every time something go down, I'm there. Y'all need me to come, I'm there.
Yeah, okay, but Paul, I'm talking about physically. We want him to be here with us.
Exactly, I do too. I want him here. I want him home with you.
Janice, what are your feelings about what Paul did to your other son? What are your feelings about Paul now?
I mean, I can't side here. I mean,
Mom,
I
you
love
was there
both
at the
of them.
trial. You heard what I said. You was there.
Yeah.
Like she keeps saying, it's Paul fault, Paul fault. You was there.
Mom was at the trial. Mom was at court, probably like I can count on my hands.
But
I was there from the first beginning. I was there at the prelim when you walked out.
Okay, I understand you was there. I understand you was there.
I'm keeping it real.
Okay, but
I'm keeping it real.
You want to really keep it real?
I'm keeping it real.
You keep it real.
I'm gonna keep it real. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, but
get started.
Don't let me get
I called
started,
you before. Let's talk about when I called you.
Navi, do you...
That's why
From the interviews, there was a point at which, during the time he was being interrogated, didn't Janice play a role during the interrogation? What do you have to say to Janice?
Exactly. I called Janice. I called my mother-in-law before Paul even went to do the prelim. And I called her. I said, after we start hearing all these things, that they have statements of this and that, and I said, Mom, you need to come with me and go out there because of what's going on. I think Paul is going to change. She goes, no, Paul is not going to do it. I said, Mommy, I think those statements that they're saying is coming from Paul. She's like, no, Paul wouldn't do it. I said, Mommy, just come to court so you can come, so we can go talk to him. You didn't go. Remember when I called you on the phone, I was telling you that Paul is starting to lie. If you had came that day, because we needed support. The reason why Paul did what he did,
Janice,
Janice,
I didn't go.
Navi,
and that's why you did what you didn't have.
Could you have helped the situation? When you were being told that Paul was about to flip on your other son, could you have helped the situation, got a babysitter, gone to see Paul and say, Paul, don't do this to your brother?
Because you know why? When I did talk to him.
You know how Paul is. Paul, you got to be in Paul. You know, Mom,
but you remember when I went down there and told Paul, don't change on line.
Navi, you believe that if Janice had spoken to Paul at the critical moment, this thing would have gone completely differently.
I talked to Paul.
Just like you know what else it would have changed? When Lionel got sentenced, it would have changed a whole lot if you had came instead of left to go feed your husband. Yeah. That right there was horrible. That was horrible.
Let me go feed my husband. What the hell are you talking about?
Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Once he got sentenced, remember when he got sentenced? We were supposed to go. You got there late, remember? So you didn't see the sentencing.
Because I didn't have no car. You didn't bring your to pick me up. So all this stuff you talking, all this time you driving, you should, why you didn't bring your expense? I didn't have no car. Why you come pick me up? Bitch, I don't want to hear.
Janice, hold on a minute. Janice, if my son was being sentenced to life in prison,
I would have been there.
I would have crawled to court. I would have walked to court. I would have got to court. I would have got to court for my son. We'll be back right after this.
I can marry anybody. I'm saying he can't. He's in jail. He's in jail. I'm saying that. Listen, I'm there because I love him.
If you're in the new... All right, let's recap a little bit. Navi, you believe that your husband, Lionel, is locked up 35 years to life, largely because of the false testimony of his brother Paul, and a little bit because of Janice, Lionel and Paul's mother, not being involved enough at the trial. Is there anything, Janice and Paul, that either one of you two will take a little bit of responsibility for what you've done? I'll begin with Paul.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do.
Say it. What is it?
I take some responsibility because, I mean, I know what's going on, but then once I knew, I tried to go to the plate, but it was too late. I do, so I take responsibility. Half of me, I feel most of it was my fault.
If my testimony had put my brother in prison falsely for 35 years to life, I couldn't live with it. It is something every day of my life. Janice, is there anything that you want to say to anybody, especially Navi, about your involvement in not being there when your son was sentenced? Is there anything you want to say to Navi at this point? Nothing. You feel no responsibility?
No.
No.
You know what you need to say?
I got something to say.
This to me. You need to say, Navi, I love you and thank you for being a wonderful wife. Because if it wasn't for you, what the hell would have happened to my son? I'm the one that run. I'm the one that run.
You're the one that run?
I'm the run. Have you seen Lionel ever since he's been in jail for 3.5 years?
Yeah, I've seen him.
Where you seen him at?
I ain't been
since he's been
jail.
convicted. Have you seen him?
You know what?
Have you seen him?
You trying to sit
I'm
up here
asking you, have you seen him?
You trying to say
you have
I ain't
nothing to
been
say to
down
me?
there?
I'm not saying it. You saying you have nothing to say to me.
I tell you, I love you. I appreciate what you doing. He's talking about the case. He's talking about this case right here. You said it's my fault because Lionel was in jail.
This is what I said. I said if you had told
You said
I didn't say it's your fault that Lionel's in jail. Listen to what I'm saying. I said if you had went and talked to Paul, when I told you, Paul could even agree that if he had somebody besides his wicked, stinking wife, he would have been able to be, he didn't have nobody else talking to him. He needed somebody to be able, that's what I'm saying. This is, look, I don't need to have to be going through this with you. Lionel is your son.
Thank you.
I'm his wife. I can marry anybody. I'm
Okay, well,
sticking with him. He's in jail. He's in jail. I'm saying that. Listen, I'm there because I love him. But what happened if I wasn't there?
Okay, well,
what family wasn't there?
Do it.
What would you step up to the plate and do?
Do what I've been doing.
Well, I don't know. Like I said.
I ain't been down there.
Like I said.
Like you don't want to do stuff. You know what?
All right, ladies, hold on.
Okay,
Paul,
I am the one doing it.
Hold on, just a minute. Let Paul say something. There's somebody else involved in this, but hold on.
I appreciate you doing everything for my son. I appreciate you doing everything.
Hold on, let Paul say. There's somebody else involved in this, but Paul, you have something to say.
You know, like I said, man, it's really ridiculous. The whole situation, the whole outcome is hurtful. You know, I mean, hey, like I say, I love you. I don't care if you don't believe it. I always have. You know, every time you meet me, I was there. There's something that happened. I mean, I ask God every day, why did it happen like that? Because it's very hurtful. I deal with it every day. It's no joke. But, I mean, I'm doing everything I can do to try to get him home.
Paul, there's been another person tremendously affected by this, and that is Kyrie, who's Navi and Navi's and Lionel's son. And please welcome Kyrie. No, you stay here. Okay. Have a seat. Have a seat there, Kyrie. Good to see you. Kyrie, what do you have to say to your Uncle Paul?
You, like, really ruined my life. Like, see you over here making excuses, yelling at my mom like that. Like, you should just really not even have nothing to say. I'm so sorry. Like, I'll be honest, if it's really been here, I would never forgive you. Like, I can never get those 4 years back. Like, come on, I can't really focus on a lot of stuff. I'm still focused on my mom. I can't really go to work. I'm scared. What's she gonna be stressing about? You know, it's like everyone's arguing like we're stressing. This is ridiculous. Like,
yeah, we are, yeah. It's a hurtful situation, man.
Is this...
Kyrie, how was your relationship with Lionel and your dad? How was your relationship with Lionel before the incident?
Close. I was with my dad all the time. Really every day I get home from practice. Every week goes shopping, you know. He took us out on boat rides, dirt biking. Got me everything for my football, basketball games, shoes, everything I ever needed. Like,
Paul, take a look at Kyrie. Is there anything you want to say to him at this point? This is the moment.
You know, I can tell Kyrie.
Can you look at him?
I can tell you, man. I mean, I'm sorry, man. About a more, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean for that to turn out that way, man. That down there was something else, man. They didn't want to hear me talk. They wouldn't let me talk. I mean, it was wicked, man. I mean, it was wicked. Y'all don't understand that system down there.
Yeah, but Paul, you're a grown man. Look, I was in high school.
No,
and
that don't matter about no grown. No, you missing what I'm saying. You missing what I'm saying.
Okay.
You missing what I'm saying. You missing the whole point. No. Y'all, man, she know what I'm talking about, man. It's not, I don't care what y'all say. It's not no excuse, man. Y'all know what the hell I'm talking about.
Make your point.
Damn, let me talk.
Tell what they did, Paul. What
man, all they do, they feed you stuff, they give you stuff, man. It's not.
If you didn't do anything, what you scared about?
What do you mean?
Like what do you thought they was gonna do to you if you thought you to tell the truth?
I mean,
like they had
that's what I want to know when you would start telling the truth. I
don't get about the pills and the medical thing either.
When they took you in the back, when you start telling the truth, because I know it was corrupted out there. It was very corrupted. I know.
It's like this, man.
It's racism, crazy. I know.
Can this family get over this? And I think this is the moment. From your heart, if you could look at Navi and Kyrie and speak from the heart and tell them how sorry you are for what you've done to his father and to her husband and to your brother, I think it would make a difference. Please take this moment.
You know, before you...
Now, Navi, let him talk. Let him talk.
Before you do that, Paul, I want you to tell me what happened, why you did what you did first, because you can tell me sorry, but I want to know what happened, what they did to you in there, why you lied and stuck to that lie after changing it so many times. What happened?
They just kept telling me about a long time. You get this much amount of time, and They just kept feeding my head like, y'all came for that. It just sounded, damn. I'm like, damn, no, we didn't do that. We didn't come for that. We came to do that.
Navi, do you think they knew he was the weakest link and that's why they went to him?
They just kept on.
Because they didn't know he went to jail or something.
Kyrie, you're the 18-year-old man in this case. How do you feel now toward Paul? Is there any way of you treating him like an uncle and him treating like a nephew after today? Is there a chance that relationship could be rebuilt?
No, I don't think so. My dad's not home. Why would I build a relationship with him when my dad's not home? I can't even.
Paul, can you give him that apology, Paul?
Oh, I told Kyrie, man, I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at him, but he ain't looking at me.
Kyrie, can you look at your uncle?
Look at him, Kyrie. He's a victim too. Just look at him.
Be real, man.
No, from the top, if you don't feel it, he don't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to. But like you said, you know, when you was younger, man, I was there, man. You know that. You know I loved you. No, you ain't Kato, man. I was there with y'all every day. Being there for y'all, man. This, man, you know
good
me
times.
You know me.
Anyone would be there from the good times, when the bad times, no one's there. Who's there?
Who's there for me in the bad times?
Who's here right now?
Yeah.
All right, when we continue, let's see how a vicious comment caused one sister to pull a knife on another, and that's next. Now that our studio say that Paul betrayed his brother, do you believe that's true? Vote now. I want to hear from you. Call 855-TEL-BILL to vote now. Does America share your opinion? Call 855-TEL-BILL to find out. You'll also receive some valuable offers. The number to call now is 855-TEL-BILL.
I can marry anybody. I'm saying he's in jail. He's in jail. He's in jail. I'm saying that. Listen, I'm there because I love him.
You should just really not even have nothing to say. I'm so sorry. Like, I would honestly, if it's really been how I would never forgive you. Like, I can never get those 4 years back. Like,
moving forward after feeling betrayed by your own family is not easy. Rabbi, what about the family to your immediate left? Oh, terrible circumstances. Navi and Paul and Janice and Kyrie. What can you say to them to heal this family betrayal that the family feels about Paul's testifying against his brother?
Paul, if it's true that you perjured yourself, if you lied to save yourself and put your brother in prison, there will be no forgiveness, and there should be no forgiveness until you go before a judge, and it did.
Rabbi Shmuley, I know you have a new book out. What is the book? What is the new book?
The book is called 10 Conversations You Need to Have with Yourself, because, you know, when I watch situations like these, you're all good people. You all want to do the right thing, but there's such a difference between who we want to be in life and who we end up being. Yes. Paul, man, where's your soul? Look at your nephew sitting and crying. And you know, the most beautiful thing about this, Kyrie, is that this isn't even your biological father. He adopted you, man. He raised you. He gave you love. Because love is what creates family, not blood.
Hi, Rabbi. Thank you very much. I think my audience has a lot to say. It's time to drop those mics. It's time for Talk Back with Bill. Let's begin over here, ma'am. A question or a comment?
This is for Navi and Paul. In every family, there's strong links and they're weak links. I think the best thing that y'all could do now is just pretty much just come together and, like the rabbi said, you know, make your peace, you know, with yourself, with your heart, and do the right thing, and just bond together as a family in both cases.
Good comment. Very good comment. Yes, ma'am.
To Paul, Navi, and the mother, God moves in powerful ways. Forget what happened and just move on. Embrace what y'all have now, because he will come home. He will.
All right. When we continue, is the bottom line. And for more info, go to the website, BillCunninghamShow.com. Now that our studio audience has spoken, it's time for you to talk back with Bill. Earlier in the show, we heard Navi say that Paul betrayed his brother. Do you believe that's true? Vote now. I want to hear from you. Call 855-TEL-BILL to vote now. Does America share your opinion? Call 855-TEL-BILL to find out. You'll also receive some valuable offers. The number to call now is 855-TEL-BILL.